So if I'm a landlord and I'm looking for insurance policy, right, what should I be looking for? What are the key things to make sure I have the coverage?
Yeah. So if if you look on your policy and it says HO on it, that HO in the front of it means homeowners. So it
Mm.
could be an HO3, an HO5, condo policy, townhome, regular home. Um, the difference when you move to a landlord policy is you're getting a business owner's policy or a dwelling fire policy. Um, now, this has some added benefits, right? Typically, an investment property, unless it's short-term rental, won't have, um, contents in it. Like it doesn't have furniture and goods and artwork on the wall. And, when you have a homeowner's policy, you're paying to insure that stuff. Well, this is more or less empty except for, the appliances that are inside the home. Um, the dwelling fire and the business owner's policy will cover that. They will also cover loss of rent. So typically, if you have a homeowner's policy and you have a fire and you're displaced, well, hey, we'll pay for a hotel until everything gets fixed if you get put out. In this particular situation, you're not the one being put out, right? You are effectively putting out a tenant, but you are losing a lot of income in the process. You might have a home, might be generating $2,000 a month in rent. If you don't have a dwelling fire or business owner's policy associated with being a landlord, you're not going to have that business reimbursement insurance that's on every one of those policies. Um, and then I think the last and final big piece to this is if you go combing through your contract with your management company, say 95% of the time, there's a little tiny clause in there that says property manager XYZ needs to be a named party on the policy. And this is, TJ, to protect you in the event that you send uh, a repair person out and they're on a ladder and they fall. Well, guess what? Uh, the property management group, they're going to be named in the lawsuit. Now, um, you have to spend a bunch of money on legal to say, hey, that this is supposed to land on the owner, or you're going to end up having to file a claim with your general business liability insurance, and now you're out of pocket $5,000 to go and fight something that really the onus should have been put on the landlord in the first place. Um, and with a homeowner's policy, you can't add that property manager onto the policy, so it's kind of a critical component in kind of if you're using a professional property manager, you have to have that individual named on the policy, and there's only two types of policies where you could do that.
And that's the challenge in the space, right? Speaking from putting on a property manager's hat, if you have 5,000 doors under management and maybe that works out to be 3,000 owners, you can see every time a lawsuit comes through, the property management company is named. The management company has to have another option, right? Which is why a lot of times clients, landlords say, well, why do I need to name the property management company as additional insured? I have to pay more for it. I have to, well, it's also, if you spin it around the other direction, there's no way that a management company could possibly file a claim on every lawsuit that comes through and have it hit there. They could never get insured.
You'd never be insured again.
No, no.
Yeah,
I will say we do struggle with that conversation with some of our clients, and on their end, it's, well, my carrier won't do that. My carrier won't name you as additional insured. My carrier says, well, what I really like about Obie is it'll happen, right?
yeah,
You have the ability to underwrite it in such a way that the management company does have coverage. This way, the owner, the landlord, they're compliant with their management agreement. They ensure they have the proper coverage. So it truly is a win for everybody that's involved. Um,
yeah. We so TJ, if you send a customer over to us and we know that it came specifically from you, we store all of that information in the background. So even the consumer, if they don't know that they need it, it automatically gets applied to the policy. And then We're also in the process in early beta stages with a few different property management groups of um, creating a compliance effort that's automated for property managers to just sync up their property management software, whether it's Appfolio or Buildium or whatever you end up using, to our system, and we will basically send out emails to the owners to have them submit proof of insurance. We will take a look at it, and then we'll mark it as compliant or non-compliant. And if they're non-compliant, then oftentimes the property management group has a penalty associated with that, whether you know it or not, inside your contract. Sometimes there's $50 for being non-compliant per month. Ultimately, that non-compliance fee is thrown into a pool for them to potentially pay a claim or have a lawyer get involved when you don't have them as a named insured on the policy. But at the end of the day, we want to help mitigate some of this stuff, and some of these tedious administrative tasks for property managers that become more turnkey and they don't have to really think about it. This has been done in the renters insurance space for years. There's tons of products out there that will basically force renter in the event that they sign a lease that says that they need to have renters insurance, into either buying a policy and showing proof of coverage or having one that placed on their behalf. We believe that the exact same thing can be done for owners on behalf of the property managers, and do it in a way where the property manager doesn't have to think about this. It just happens automatically in the background, and then reports are run. And then also not pigeonhole the consumer where like you're not giving them an option. We'll provide you, a notice of non-compliance, but also Obie's here for you in the event that you need to grab a policy real quick. This is something that can be done, and you know, you may not beat your rate. We may beat your rate. I promise you we'll always be competitive in terms of pricing. Um, but at the end of the day, we're providing value to both sides of the spectrum.